Okay, the latest Tottenham transfer news. We're going to have a look at all the ins and outs on deadline day. Hopefully you've seen my video earlier on in the day when I gave an update, and I think it's pretty much worked out as I thought it would. I think overall, when you see all the ins and outs, I think Tottenham fans really ought to be happy with the transfer window. I think we started the day with the expectation of getting Dybala as well, and although it was a deal I was hoping was going through. I think I said in my video earlier today, my heart was saying, looking at everything else, I don't think it was likely to happen, and it turns out that one fell by the wayside. Now, if you're new to the channel and you want to keep updated with videos like this on Tottenham and also all the other top Premier League teams, we do transfer windows videos, we do match analysis, full player profiles, we look at stats, and we try and give some objective sort of analysis to our opinion. If you do, just click on the red subscribe button below, click the notification bell button, and you'll be kept up to date with all the latest new videos. Now on to the video. So we're going to run through all the ins and outs on transfer deadline day, and there's just a couple of little caveats first. The deadline day finished, it's about 5:45 now. Deadline day finished at 5 o'clock. However, there is what is known as a deal sheet available for clubs. Now this is for deals that have virtually been done, but they couldn't just quite get all the paperwork and all the fine print done by 5 o'clock. And it gives clubs a 2-hour extension till 7 p.m. So we know to qualify for that, the selling club has to sign the deal sheet, the buying club has to sign the deal sheet, and the player involved has to sign the deal sheet, and all sums of money involved in the transfer have to be disclosed on that. So it's purely just ones that we know are there that couldn't get over. Now, we know there are 6 deals on that deal sheet that went on after 5 p.m. Premier League don't tell us what's on there. We think we know one of them, which is Alex Iwobi, who's going from Arsenal to Everton. The other 5 we're not aware of who they are. Now, it could well be a Spurs one on there, but we don't think so. We think we've got all the deals on our list that we're just going to run through in a minute. The other caveat I'll put is that clubs are under no obligation to put a press release out and to announce any deals whatsoever. It's unusual, but there could be deals that they haven't yet announced yet. But on the basis of those 2 caveats, let's just run through it. So the big news was Paulo Dybala, and I put a video out earlier on that one. That fell through. Paulo Dybala not coming to Tottenham. There's mixed reports. One is saying that Juventus pulled him and wanted him back at Juventus, and that's because they were hoping to get Romelu Lukaku from Man United, and they would have been quite happy for Dybala to go if he'd have come. Obviously, he's signed for Inter Milan. That's all confirmed. Lukaku's gone to Inter Milan. So the one story is that they've recalled him because of that, and the other is that there was problems with image rights. Now apparently this deal has been worked on for quite some time, and the image rights are a problem. And I think, reading between the lines, I suspect that the personal terms for Dybala, plus all the complications and the cost of the image rights, made Tottenham sort of try and drag their feet a little bit on it with a view to trying to maybe get personal terms down, and probably Juventus said, well, now we're not going to get Lukaku, we'll have him back. So I think there's probably a combination of both on that. So Dybala didn't happen. Shame, because a real top quality player, but I think, like I said, can be happy what's coming. Now, first one is Lo Celso. That has been confirmed, all done. Quite an unusual deal. Any money on a permanent deal would have been taken into consideration that Real Betis would have had to pay a percentage to PSG. Obviously, it was in their interest to try and get as much as they could, knowing that they wouldn't get all of the money. Tottenham didn't want to pay the full amount that Real Betis was after. Compromise deal has been had, and we think it's somewhere in the region of 65 million, with potentially another 5 million of add-ons. We're still to have it confirmed, but we pretty much think that it's been done on a loan with an obligation to buy. and it'll be something like 15 million loan deal with an obligation to buy 50 million at the end of the deal. That means that the amount Real Betis will have to PSG is lower, so they get a good deal. Tottenham get a good deal in that they're not having to fork out as much cash day one, so it's a good deal all round. The player comes, the player wanted to come, Pochettino wanted him, he's the one that they had earmarked very early on in the transfer window. That's all done, so that's good news. Second bit of good news is Ryan Sessegnon, the left back stroke attacking left-sided player from Fulham, 19-year-old. He's all signed and sealed, confirmed, 5-year deal. Tottenham have also put an option of extending a year on that as well. So Tottenham have sort of got the ability to keep him for 6 years should they want. So that's a good bit of business, I think, for Levy. Josh Onama has gone in the other direction, the young midfielder. So Fulham have got a good deal out of it. Spurs again have got the player they wanted. 25 million, 5 million worth of add-ons, and Josh Onama going the other way. So second deal there. So that brings a tally to 4 deals. So there's obviously Dembele, who seems to be ages ago since he came. Jack Clark come in, gone out on loan. The other bit of news, a bit of surprising news on the transfer day, which I wasn't expecting, concerned Danny Rose. And obviously we all knew he was looking for a move away. Then he came back into the pre-season squad, played games, played that with that passion we all know Danny Rose does. I thought he looked extremely sharp. You look at it and you think, really don't want to lose this player. And it all looked like he wasn't going anywhere. Obviously transfer deadline day, and Watford came in with a bid for him, tried to pinch Danny Rose. I think Watford have done a bit of business today. They tried to get Danny Rose. Don't blame them. I think it would have been a super bit of business for them. Daniel Levy has said no. Danny Rose is staying at Tottenham, and I think again that's a good move for Tottenham there. Now the only other one to talk about, which was a potential, was Christian Eriksen. And as I said in my video this morning, I didn't expect anything to happen today because I thought the only clubs that were likely to try and do a deal today are English clubs. Obviously, we all knew about the Man United interest, which fell by the wayside. Again, we're not sure. Man United saying they didn't want him. Eriksen, you know, the stories is that he didn't want to out of loyalty to Tottenham. I think basically it just wasn't the right deal for both parties, and I'm a big believer if a deal isn't right, forget what the story is behind it. It's not worth doing. So no other English clubs have come in for Eriksen. So the deadline transfer window has passed. He can no longer be signed by an English Premier League club. However, he can still go to a European club. Spain, Germany, France have all got their transfer windows open to a lot later on in August. So now the focus will be on Eriksen over the coming days and weeks to see, is there actually any firm interest for him abroad? Like we said before, Real Madrid are looking at him. I'm sure there'll be 1 or 2 other European clubs that will be quite interested and will probably test Levy with a low ball offer. In terms of Eriksen, psychologically, he must be sat there thinking, I'm not quite as well wanted out there as I thought I was. And if he doesn't see early offers coming in from any European clubs, he may well decide to sign that contract that Tottenham have offered him. And we understand it's somewhere in the region of £200,000. We don't know exact figures, and I don't think anybody does except the inner sanctums in Tottenham at the moment. I hope Eriksen signs that deal because the other name that was being talked about today was Bruno Fernandes, and that all went very quiet. The last we heard was that Tottenham had made a bid. It wasn't high enough. Sporting were told Bruno Fernandes' agent 70 million euros or nothing. Tottenham's bid fell short of that. We don't know how serious Tottenham were at looking at that player. I would have liked to have seen Bruno Fernandes come in, but it was very quiet today on that, unless he's one on the deal sheet that we don't know about. But Bruno Fernandes isn't coming. So I think now I would say Looking ahead, Eriksen is the priority. If you can't get good money for this player, he's going to go on a free in the summer. So, you know, Levy, get him signed up on a contract. Pochettino, get him motivated. He's got players now come into the team that are just giving him a little bit of urgency, that are looking to take his place in the team with Lascelles. So obviously Dembele's there as well. So there's players there. You've got other players, some of the young lads that have done very well in pre-season. You know, Skip has done very well in the midfield, slightly different type of player. But there's now a little bit of pressure on some of those players. So Levy, get Eriksen signed up on a contract, or he probably needs to go for a decent fee. But it would be nice to see Eriksen. I think over the years, you look at his figures, he's been a terrific player for Tottenham. I know a lot of players are saying he needs to sling his hook, but I would like to see him stay in a Tottenham shirt. So there we go. That's the transfer deadline day review done. I think obviously looking forward to January and next summer, he's going to need to look at the defence. You've got obviously Vertonghen, you've got Alderweireld. Both have got into the last year now of their contracts. Vertonghen's 32, Alderweireld is 30, and you know, it looks like they're both happy to stay at Tottenham, and if they have good seasons, Pochettino will want to keep them for another year, but it's going to be very tempting for them coming towards the latter end of their careers when they're available on a free and able to get a big salary package if they do move. That's going to be a tricky situation next summer. And you know, we really would like to see perhaps maybe a little bit of focus maybe on the defence. The right back situation as well is an area of concern. So I think looking forward, it's the next transfer window probably won't be as busy in January and next summer, but I think the defence may be more of the focus then. So that's all the full roundup window. If you like the videos, appreciate a like on the video below, and if you aren't already subscribed, if you press a red subscribe button, click the bell notification, you'll be kept up to date with all the latest videos on Tottenham and other top Premier League sides. Thanks once again for watching.